Hello and welcome to Traditional Painting the Digital Way. This is where I use digital painting apps to teach traditional painting techniques. This is part 5 of my Forest Path series, and this is the last video, and in it we're going to add the final details and add the light effects to it. If you're following along with traditional painting supplies, check out part 1 where I have a list of all my paints and canvases and paint brushes that I use. The app that we're going to be using is Infinite Painter for Android, and we're going to go ahead and finish this painting on out. So what I want to do eventually is to add some sunbeams coming from the upper right corner. And if you're following along, traditionally you get a flat brush and you get very thin down paint, a mixture of cadmium yellow light and white acrylic gesso, and you gently brush it or glaze it across the top of the trees, the background trees. And so here I'm trying to find a brush in Infinite Painter that will work well like a flat brush. And so I was sort of erasing it because I didn't like what it did here. And if you're going to do this in digital, make sure it's on a separate layer, because then when you mess up you can erase it and you can go back and you can fix it. If you're doing this traditionally, try not to mess up, but you can erase them really quickly with a wet paper towel if you get to them. And so I didn't like that, and I erased the sunbeams off of that layer, and that's where you can see that it's quite handy to have an extra layer if you're doing this digitally. And so what I want is a light glaze that allows the background to show through. And I'm using some of the airbrushes here, and this is giving me more of a better effect of what I want. And you want to go ahead and kind of make sure that it's straight, because it's a sunbeam and it's going to be shining straight through the trees. And you also want to leave a little bit of some gaps between them so that it makes it look like it's between the trees. And so here I was trying to show the effect of individual sunbeam rays shining between the trees here. And you want to make sure that it hits the edges of your trees and the spots on the ground that you have added highlight colors to, so that makes it look like the sunbeams are hitting it. And so here I thought I added too much of the sunbeam, so I've gone back with the eraser and tried to get it the soft airbrush on the eraser. One of the things you can do in Infinite Painter as well as with blending is that you can set your eraser to any of the painting brushes and you'll get that same effect. And so here I'm kind of erasing some of the sunbeams that I put through because I thought I put too much, and I'm still making sure that it's a straight line with the erasing even. And I kind of wanted to erase some of it that I had at the top. I thought that I made it a little bit too dark, and so here I'm toggling back and forth to see if that works on the separate layer. And you can do that in digital. That's one of the nice things about digital painting, is you can do that. If you're doing this traditionally, like I said, get a wet paper towel and quickly erase it and then try again, but make sure that you don't have it too wet, because it'll wipe off the underpainting. Even though it's acrylic, it can still wipe some of it off. And so that's what I'm doing, was trying to make sure that I was getting the right sunbeam effect. And then I wanted to go ahead and work a little bit more on the branches of the trees and try to get a little bit more of the foliage look and stuff like that around the bottom of the trees, and work a little bit more on the branches, get those a little bit more refined. And then I wanted to add a little bit of a gravelly look to the road. So I added, find some of the spatter brushes and try to just add little dark and light spatters to the road and the ground. I want the look of little pebbles and gravel and all the things that are on the road there. So I was trying to go through some of the spatter brushes and see which ones give the best look. There's several different kinds, and I'm using a burnt umber color, making it dark and just trying to give the little graveled look there. And then I will also add, can go back and add some little white ones as well, or off-white as well, to give it the look of the gravel. But you want these really small and just kind of sort of your final look there on the road. So this is the end of the Forest Path series, and I hope that it gave you some idea about what to leave in your paintings and what to take out of your paintings, and that detail is not necessarily good if it's in the background. You want detail in the front and less detailed things in the background, so that your painting won't look flat and that it has a more three-dimensional look. So that's the end of this little series, and stay tuned and hit the subscribe button to see what we're going to do next. And thanks everybody for watching. Thank you so much for your support. If you have any questions or suggestions about what you would like to see, leave them in the comments down below, and I will catch you later.